Picking the best category for your book is one of the keys to having a successful launch. In this lesson, Steve Fata is going to discuss how picking the right category will help you to get maximum exposure possible on Amazon and give you some tips on making sure that you do a great job in picking your categories.
All right, welcome everybody. My name is Steve Fata. I am the creative and technical director here at Bestseller Publishing. And this video will be going over how to pick the perfect category. Now, this is one of the most important parts of our promotion. Why? Well, this is because we want to be in one of the best categories that serves our specific niche, as well as make sure that we are in a category that we can actually become a top 10 or even number 1 best-selling author in. If there are some examples of categories that, are pretty tough and would take a lot of effort in order to become a bestseller in, and then there's other categories where they may be easier to become a bestseller in. So we want to pick the right category for you and your book. What we're going to do first is obviously sign in to KDP. That's kdp.amazon.com. You've been here before. You should have at least. And we're going to get into our the editing section of our book. We are at the bookshelf. We're going to choose a book. So how we do that is we hover over the ... right next to the promotion and advertise button. So we're going to click right here and choose edit book ebook detail. So we click and then we scroll down and we find categories. So as you can see right now, we are in budgeting and we are in money management. Now let's go look at the book in Amazon. So how do we find this? Okay, so let's go to a book real quick. This is Secrets of a Master Closer. We have no affiliation with this book. I just chose it at random. Down here you'll see product details, and you'll see a couple things. And here's a couple things I want you to actually learn for this video in particular. Here we have a rank. Now this is rank in paid. All right. It's always going to be here. It's in the product details section. You'll also see all the categories that this book is rated in the top 10 for the most part. They because of the way Amazon does it, sometimes books that categories that you're ranked in will not show up, but don't worry. These results change every hour, so sometimes it will show and then sometimes it will not. Does not mean you are not a bestseller in that category. Okay, so we are going to choose a category. Now remember, this is in paid. They have 2 rankings, one for paid and one for free. We're going to go to the free section since that is where we will be conducting our promotion. Okay, so we are in this category. You'll see all the different subcategories here. We could go back to money management and you'll see all these subcategories. We'll go back to here and you'll see all the different subcategories in sales and selling. Right here you'll see top 100 free. Now this is the same for all these categories. Top 100 free. We click here, top 100 free. This is the section that we want to be in. Right now we are in careers. This is Kindle ebooks, business and money and job hunting and careers, all the way down to careers. So here we will find all the books that are in this specific category, only careers. Okay, so we'll click the number 1 book and we'll scroll down. Now this is the number we're looking for. Whoops. This is the number we are looking for, number 620 in free, okay? Not paid, but free. You'll see here he's number 1 in career guides, which is where we were just now, right here. Okay, so 620 is a fairly high number. It's not impossible to do, especially if you follow our technique in the rest of these chapters or in these lessons. If you follow our promotional strategy in the next module, you will be able to get around the 600 area, but still, this book or this is a good number, and there may be another category out there for you. You could check the number 2 books. Sometimes they're just irregular. So the first one was 600, but the next one was 1,000. If you're planning on breaking into the top 10, 1,000 is very easy. You'll be number 2 in this category if you are ranking in the top 1,116 books. Now, I should have explained this rank is a ranking among all the books in the free category. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is not a This is not specifically to or a specific number to a category. This is a total number of that you are ranked within all the free books. Okay, so it's an important number. That's a good number. If you just want to come in the top 3, this will make you number 2 if you get past this. But for the sake of Rob's book, which is a money management and money book, we could look back here, budgeting and money management. We want to go to business and let's see, management leadership. No, let's see here. We also like business life. And here's mentoring and coaching. Now, this is not one that he's using, but if the other ones are more competitive, we could check and see if mentoring and coaching would be one. And look at that, there's a publishing book. So we go and we look, and this book is ranked 1,265. Now, if you follow what we plan out in Module 4, 1,265 should be a doable number for you. Obviously, this also depends on what niche you're in. Most business books, most health books, most self-help books, they will be able to do this. Some of the harder books are fiction books, stories, things of that nature, photography books. Those are a little bit more difficult to rank higher in, but still, you should be able to reach this number. So for the sake of Rob's book, I would think that this is a category that is well within reach of me receiving a top 5, top 10 number 1, even the number 1 bestseller in mentoring and coaching. So if I wanted to change that, I would go to set categories and I would search for the categories. Now, this tells you right here the whole path. So I would go to nonfiction. I would go to business and economics. And then I would go to personal finances. So scroll all the way down to P. Alphabet. All right. Personal finances right here. It opens again, and you'll see him in budgeting and money management. Great. So if I wanted to change it, I would have to take off one of them, because remember, you can only do 2 categories at once. It says so right up here. I'm going to replace that right now because I'm not actually changing his categories. But if I did want to find another category, I could look for the mentoring and coaching. Now, if you really pay attention to these categories, they do not match up. See, this right here would most likely be this category, coaching category. It doesn't say mentoring or coaching, but it does say consulting. So some of these, I don't know why it's not really something that they make public or give you reasons for, but some of these do not match up. Meaning, you can actually go and look for a category in one of these sections, and you may not find the category in the section. So let's see, business life here. Business life isn't even in here. It's just a large umbrella of a bunch of different ethics, etiquette, mentoring, coaching, motivation, self-improvement, and personal success and time management. Business life is not an actual category. I know that's confusing. Try to stay with it. It's okay. But as you can see, you see business ethics here. If you chose business ethics, you would be here in business life ethics. And let's see, Is this a category that we like? This is very much so a category that we like. 2000, very easy to become number one in. Now, let's go to a category that maybe we don't think that we could rank in very easily. One that comes to mind would probably be one of the self-help categories. Now, self-help, very doable, but if you just went to self-help, and this is why I tell you in other videos, do not choose the general categories. If you choose the general categories, you're going up against every book in these categories. So to give you an example of that, we're going to go to the top free, and then we're going to go to the number one book in all of self-help, and it is rated number 197. That means you have to be 196th in the whole store in order for you to be number one in self-help. Now, is that impossible? No, it's not. Usually, what you really, really want to stay away from is the top 10 books, the top 100 books. 197, very, very difficult, and I hope you followed everything that we said in our module 4, and if so, then it is possible. Not guaranteed, but possible. So if you plan on doing a self-help book, maybe you think that your book is more personal transformation. Now you're going up against less books, but you're still a self-help personal transformation book. And look at that, 800th. Okay, let's do another example. Spiritual. That's one that we get sometimes. We are already in free, and we look, and number 1000. There we go. And then self-esteem. Now this one's a little bit more competitive, and exactly what we thought. This is the number one book in all of self-help, and there are a self-esteem category. So look for the specific category that you want, and then try to associate that with the categories in here. Now, like we can show you, let's go to self-help down here. Self-help is its own category. I just passed it. It's right here. And to look up the self-esteem, happiness categories, it's in personal growth. You didn't see personal growth over here anywhere. Personal transformation is not the same thing. So just keep in mind that this will be a little confusing for you, and it may take some trial and error. That's okay. Now, a way to check if your book is in a specific category without being in promotion, because sometimes your book is just a regular book. Let's see if we could find just a regular book, one that's not on a promotion at all. I'm just clicking random books, so pardon me for any of the books that I choose. Just once. Just trying to find a book that... Well, okay. So, this book, obviously in some crime and thriller categories, but let's just pretend like they weren't showing any top 10s. It's just not a book that's rated very high. You can scroll down all the way to the bottom, and you'll see every category that your book is actually eligible for. Some of these would be much bigger. Let's see, down here. Here's 2, exercise training. Let's go to another one. We're going to scroll all the way down. Now, it only shows 3 categories here, and this book is in a ton of categories. As you can see here, this is a great example. So, this book is eligible for nutrition, seasonal, holiday, reference, sweets, ingredients, pastries, desserts, cookies, chocolates, all these different categories, yet you only see 3 here, right? So, you're only allowed to pick 2 within KDP. That's the rule. But like I told you in the previous video, if you choose the right keywords and if your book has the right content, they will place your book in other categories as well. So that's why you may need to play around with some of the categories once you choose them, because they may not actually end up in the right category, or they may end up in many categories. You just won't know until you choose some. So it's a little bit of a trial and error. These will update every 6 hours. So you change it, wait 6 hours. If you're in a good category, you'll just take a look at your book, scroll all the way down, and you'll see all the categories that you're in. If you like the category you're in, if you've done your research and you've clicked here, sweets, and you're in the suites category, and the number one book in suites is ranked number 5,000. That's a great book for you to be competitive with, especially if you're following all of our steps. And so you're good. But if you're in a higher competitive category, you may want to move. So make sure you're paying attention, you're doing your research. It helps you out a ton when it comes to choosing your categories. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact the office or email me at steve@bestsellerpublishing.org. Until next time, see you later.